What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 151 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And don't forget to join the Discord. I'll have a link in the description below. Don't forget my poll for my next ship build is going to be ending this coming Saturday, the 26th. June the 26th, 2022. If you haven't voted in my next ship build poll, you have until that Sunday. As soon as that Sunday hits, 12:01 a.m. Sunday morning the 26th, my poll is going to end. Um, I talked about this in the last episode that I had issues with my save file and I lost everything for the last 3 years. So I haven't had a chance. We won't be able to unfortunately go in and finish the rest of the Enterprise D. I'm not going to take this time to retread on that. So make sure you check out episode 150 for full details on what happened and why I'm not able to finish out the rest of the tutorial series. So anyway, we've got about a 15-minute episode. We're going to be getting more exterior work done on this ship. We've got until episode 192. That'll be the last episode of the Enterprise D. So let's go ahead, kick back, relax, and jump right into it. We're going to be we're going to be focusing on the belly of our lower hull. We really haven't done any work to this area at all. You can see that, it's still kind of opened up here. So we're going to go along our outline here on the front end of the underside, and we're going to go with the cut. Anywhere there's a gap, we're going to start filling that in and basically doing our prep so we can start to close up the underside of this. Now, the only good thing about me, one of the good things about me pre-recording videos is that even though I lost my save file in the Enterprise D, I still had a considerable amount of content that was pre-recorded, but I talked about in episode 150 that once I found out that I lost my save, I went through to see what I had left, and we've got enough content to go up to episode 192. So again, the only downside to this is that there's just going to be a few areas that we're not going to be able to fully flesh out that I had originally intended to, just didn't get around to. That'll be the medical deck / science deck, the top deck on the saucer. We won't be able to unfortunately get to that. We won't be able to finish up the mall and work on the registration for the outside of the ship. I had briefly mentioned this in the last episode that I might maybe do like a contest for people to submit videos that they've done of this build, of this tutorial series, and I might pick the best one and maybe have people go in and do a tour of it, so that this way I can still have that up with my YouTube channel and give people that tour that I normally do. And this would be a cool way to give people, or give one lucky person that shout out and kudos. But we'll see if this is something that you want to see in my on here, as as far as like a first step collaboration with somebody. Let me know in the comments section. And if I get enough people interested in this, maybe I might actually just do it. That could be a lot of fun, but let me know how you guys feel about that. There's still a decent amount of work left to do on the Enterprise D as far as stuff that I've already recorded and have left over. Like I said, we're on 151 and we're going to be going up to 192, which seems like a lot, but I mean, and it kind of is, but it also isn't, because there was more I had intended to do. So what's going to happen, and I touched on this in episode 150, that after the 26th, I'm going to start doing my prep work to work on my next build. I still haven't decided how these episodes are going to release once I'm done with the outside of my next build. I might do a mix of both my next build and the Enterprise D. I might take a break from putting out the remainder of the episodes on the Enterprise D and just focus on that next one, or I might just run through the rest of the episodes that I had ready to go for the Enterprise D and then get into it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section as far as which route you think I should go. But it's something that I'm just kind of toying with. I don't really want to make any rash decisions or kind of jump the gun on it, so I'm just kind of taking this moment to think about what I want to do. But it's going to be one of those. We'll kind of see what happens. I had somebody in the Discord tell me to kind of uh, try to soften the blow of losing the Enterprise D. That the only good thing that's going to come out of this is that it's going to be able to provide new content on the channel, because for the past year and a half it's been nothing of the Enterprise D, because this has been such a massive build, which I was happy to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about that. I've loved this whole process working on the Enterprise D. There's a ton of things I've learned from this build that I want to try to incorporate in my builds going forward, and just being more efficient in how I do these builds. I'm really looking forward into getting into that, because I'm hoping that if I can do it the way that I have pictured in my mind, that some of these builds that I'm going to be doing going forward won't take me as long to do as the ones I've done in the past. And the Enterprise D was kind of a first step experiment in going in that direction, because the ship was so big that I was forced with just doing like the saucer section was a great example. When we were adding layers to the saucer section, I really only would do a section of it. I wouldn't build all of it in real time. And this is something that I think that I can incorporate more of going forward, or maybe just doing a couple of 1-minute clips and showing progress of what you need to do, and going over the dimensions rather than certain things building it out in real time. The things that take the longest, like saucers and things like that, there's more efficient ways that I can do that to help cut down on the build time. Now there's going to be other things that I'll be doing live, like what we're working on right now. These might be things that I'd consider them miscellaneous details, and those things, they're kind of harder to prep out and do it in bits, because I'm kind of just winging it, adding in what I think needs to be added. So stuff like that I expect me to still be doing in real time, but some of the simpler things, as far as like the saucers and adding in the layers on them and things like that, I'd expect at this point a little bit less of a step of a block by block and more of a ring by ring, if that makes more sense. That's kind of the direction that I'll be going in. And I think that's honestly going to help the channel out, because it'll really help reduce the amount of episodes that I have to put out, and it'll allow me more time to get into the different parts of the ship, and just not have super long series, and not having to retread over the same things over and over again. But, we're kind of mirroring what we had going on in episode 150. We're adding in our line work. We did the same thing on the very back of our ship, adding in our detail lines to help bring out some extra details, like this red line here, or this gray line that goes all the way around the saucer. These are our detail lines, and especially when you're working like something like the Enterprise D, where the majority of its detailing comes from the Aztecing, which we're not including on this build. You kind of have to really look for areas that you can add in this pinstripe detail to bring out all that. Otherwise, what you're going to be left with is a very, very plain ship. I don't think we'll be getting to it in today's episode, but there's a reason why I'm looking at this deflector dish. Is because it's not curving enough forward, at least the inner blue part. That is something that we are going to slightly rework. I know I mentioned it several episodes ago, but we are going to do that, and I did pre-record that. We'll be making the dish look just a little bit better. Okay, so now we're on the underside of our ship here, and we're going with a cut line. Not counting the pylons. This is just literally where I'm at right now, is the lower hull. I'm going with the cut line with my half slabs, and I'm just literally going with the outline of it. The reason I'm doing this is because we're going to be filling in this middle portion of it. It's kind of crazy too because I've never left a section of my ship unfinished on the outside like this before, and I don't necessarily, that wasn't something that I had done intentionally. I think what happened with the Enterprise D is that once I got the base for the outside done, I got really excited and, you know, just kind of started working on the inside of it. I apologize for how dark it is here on this side, but we're literally doing the same thing on the right side of the ship. We're just going with the cut line on the underside portion of the lower hull, not counting the pylons. Because everything in between this, there'll be a full block, so I add, you know, a nice little cut line there. You see, I need to make a correction there because there was a hole, but we'll come back and fix that, I believe. So I believe that we're going to start to close in some of this on the pylons on the underside. I'm going to show you guys what to do, I believe, but I'm not going to do all of this in real time. We're literally just going to be closing this in. And the same thing here, literally just closing this in with the white quartz. Bring it all the way down. Try to help you guys out. I apologize. I'm usually a little bit better about the underside. I know it got a little bit dark there for a minute, but I'm trying to make it a point to be conscious of the fact that I have people watching me. Sometimes I do forget, and I'm just like in the moment of building, and that's what happened there a few moments ago when it was really dark. But I always try to be very conscious of that, so I can provide a nice, clear, crisp image that you guys can stick along with me while we're working on this thing. But we're not doing anything super elaborate here. We're literally just filling it in. Now, one thing that I can say, anywhere that you're coming up to like a half slab, don't worry about that. Don't try to remove the half slab and replace it with a full block. We're literally going to be bringing or closing this in until we get to the center portion of our lower hull. So think of it like this, that we're filling in our pylons on the underside. Once we get to the center, which is the lower hull, that's where you're going to go right up until you get to the half slab outline that we just got finished working on a few moments ago. And then that's it as far as this step goes. Very simple to do. Just take your time, add in one row at a time. And we're just going to rock this out. I've been waiting, I should say I've been hoping that we'd be getting some more Star Trek 4 movie news for the Kelvin timeline. And I gotta be honest, I'm actually kind of confused about what's going on, because like when Paramount announced that they were making Star Trek 4, I almost had the impression that they had gone to the original cast, or to the cast, and let them know, hey, we're making another Star Trek, are you going to be available? And in the last couple of months, I've been noticing that doesn't necessarily seem like it's the case, especially like with Simon Pegg and Carl Urban, that they both, you know, have said that they want to do it, but but at this point, it's just going to come down to the logistics of scheduling, which actually kind of has me a little bit worried because if you look at the cast, the majority of them are a lot busier now than they were 10 years ago. You know, Chris Pine, that guy has become a star. Um, Gal Gadot, you know, she's not just Wonder Woman, like she's been in quite a few movies now. So, you know, she's a lot more popular than she was. Carl Urban, he's got The Boys, and I think that he was either doing another movie or another show or another movie on top of The Boys, but I'm not exactly sure. I think the only ones that haven't been, and then Zoe Saldana, she's got Guardians 3 that's coming out, and I think there's something else that she's working on. I think the only two actors that I'm not quite sure what they've been doing is Simon Pegg and Zachary Quinto. But still, you know, even if a couple of the casts aren't available, it's going to stop this movie from coming out for some time. And, you know, maybe that won't be a bad thing because I'd rather that they take their time and get it right. Because at this point, like, it's been 7 or 8 years, something like that, since the last Star Trek came out. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. But it feels like it's been a minute since the last Star Trek, as far as the movies go. But, you know, these things take time. The one thing that I'm hoping on with the next Star Trek movie, I'm going into that, you know, just completely open mind. I just hope that it's not just another villain movie. That almost all the Star Trek movies have been, with the exception of a few. I'd like to see the Kelvin crew deal with a problem rather than just the next mustache twirling bad guy. The Star Trek's better than that. So we'll see what happens with it. I don't think there's really that much other Star Trek news to really talk about. Kind of covered it in the last episode, kind of where my thoughts are on Strange New Worlds. But anyway, we're already at the end of today's episode, so one last thing I want to go over. So everything that we've done on this right side, we're going to do it on the left side. Just fill it in, going all the way over to the other side. And now that we're on the middle underside here, you can see where I'm talking about that. We're only filling in the pylon. The very center, you're not going to worry about that right now. You're just going to go right up until you get to that half slab mark and not fill in any more of that. We'll worry about that at a later point, because I believe we're going to come back and right where we added that line of half slabs, I believe we're going to go in and add a row of full slabs going all the way around and fill in and just add one more slight layer on the underside. But once you do this left side, you'll be caught up, and then we can continue on with the next episode. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up today. I just want to thank you again for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. New subscribers, don't forget to hit notifications on so you get notified when those new videos drop. And speaking of new videos, you can always catch my new Minecraft episodes dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And of course, my subscribers, double check, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I found out recently that for some reason there's a glitch with YouTube that it will totally unsubscribe you from a channel. I've had this happen to me several times. So if you've been checking out my videos, double check, make sure you're subscribed, because you might not be. But anyway, if you have any questions regarding today's episode, be sure to drop a comment below. Definitely love hearing from everybody. And I think that's going to about do it. I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in today's episode. I can't thank you enough for that. And I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section. I'll catch you in the next episode.